first love is Drop Dead Gorgeous from 1999. This movie is directed by Michael Patrick Jan, starring Kirsten Dunst, Denise Richards, and Ellen Barkin. The plot summary: a small town beauty pageant turns deadly as it becomes clear that someone will go to any lengths to win. So, this movie, while I'd seen Kirsten Dunst in other films, just didn't really stand out much. She was a child actor, but this is the movie when I rented this on VHS video store after this had come out because it looked funny, and I really
Mm.
like mockumentaries, and just being blown away by this as a kid. Like, this is so, I found this so funny as a high school student. Again, I love the mockumentary style, though this is different than the Christopher Guest films where this was not improvised. This is a script that they're working off of. These are not improv actors, but they still do an incredible job of setting up this world of the beauty pageant and all the different contestants. And I also love how the filmmakers are like woven into the movie a little bit. Like, sometimes you see the crew, the
Hmm.
cameraman, the boom guy. So they really are leaning heavily into the documentary style, which I like a lot. And I think Kirsten Dunst just stands out as this contestant who is very, yeah, she's attractive. She's in a beauty pageant and she's like this teen blonde girl, but she's relatable in the sense that she has a very poor mother. She, like, at school, she does the dishes in the school cafeteria because that's her job. And she has this genuine desire to win. Like, these other characters that are, you follow in this pageant, they have all various, oh, I want to win because my mom won, or oh, I want to win because I want to do this thing afterwards. But Kirsten Dunst, you can tell, is just very genuine about it. So she's almost like homely sort of, but not in like an unattractive way, I guess. And it's just, I think her performance stood out to me so much. Like, oh, this actress is so funny. Like, I hope she does more stuff. Like, I distinctly remember her standing out in this when I first saw it, and actually hadn't seen it in a number of years. And going back and rewatching it was really fun. I still felt it very funny, and it's just incredibly dark though. Like, they kill off like three or four of the contestants. Like, these are teen girls, like, over the course of the movie. And I like that, though, that the movie does not try to be too cutesy. It's like a very dark humor, which I also like, especially liked it a lot as a teenager. So I think it's still an underrated sort of gem that's forgotten about a lot. What were your thoughts of Drop Dead Gorgeous? Had you seen this before?
I had not seen it before, so watched it the first time. Always wanted to see it. I think I'd heard you talk about it just, in real life. So it was great to see it. I agree. Like, this movie was amazing. I was blown away by how clever and sharp the movie is. The world building is great. Every single performer in the movie is great. It feels lived in, and obviously it's funny, but it's like you said, it's very dark. It's actually quite sad too throughout.
Very
And
sad.
sort of has something real to say, but it doesn't make fun of the girls. I think
Hmm.
that to me is very critical, and that's why you're invested. Otherwise, this would be all at arm's length. It's not making fun of the pageantry, it's not making fun of the girls. I mean, they're doing the best they can, right? They're
Hmm.
trying to make something more of their lives through whatever intention, their parents or their own or what have you. And I think that's important. There's an earnestness to everybody, actually. Oh, we're going to do this. Even the Denise Richards of the world in the movie, even they have an earnestness to them. But the absolute standout is Kirsten Dunst. Like, for me, it's like, as somebody who's seen her primarily as an adult actor
Oh
and
yeah.
maybe a more of a melancholic, pun intended, actress, to see her in this avatar of kind of bright and earnest and but yet intelligent and grounded and not sappy at the same time,
Hmm.
all of those shades, it was like a knockout. I mean, she carries the entire movie on her shoulders.
Hmm.
There are not many people I've seen do that in their entire careers, let alone a teenager. So I was just blown away. And this is kind of what I was referring to in the beginning of the podcast, is like, it's really fascinating to see how a career went, because this is such an all-rounded great persona that I didn't even know she had that in her.
Hmm.
It's just so amazing. She like jumps off the screen. So I don't know. This movie is going to be in my regular rotation, I think, because she was just so good and the movie is just so fun, and but has a lot on his mind. I
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. I think the key thing, which also Christopher Guest, who directed Best in Show, Waiting for Guffman,
Yeah.
the similar types of movies, he's not mocking, and so this movie isn't either, like the people or the concept of like beauty pageants, because you have to be invested in this because the character is invested in this, and that's where the comedy comes from, and that's
Right.
where it works. And I think this movie does a lot of things that Best in Show, another movie we actually covered on our podcast that Christopher Guest made about dog show competitions a year after this. A lot of it is very similar, and it's interesting going
Mm-hmm.
back and watching this and be like, oh yeah, actually a lot of the things I don't know, I don't want to say Christopher Guest stole it from, but this film did before Best in Show did it in just a little bit of a different way. But
Yeah,
it's just
this is
interesting seeing
darker
these
and sadder,
a
I think.
lot darker. Yeah, a lot
Much
darker.
sadder. It's like bone dry.
Yeah.
Like there were moments where I was like, oh yeah, is this being played for laughs? Because I feel really sad for all these people. I want to
Hmm.
help them.
Yeah,
But there is comedy in that too, though.
that's true. Hi there, it's Alex. If you like the review and discussion Karan and I just had, make sure you subscribe to our channel, Movies That Shaped Us, to get full episodes. Every other Wednesday, Karan and I review a new release and then discuss 6 other movies made by that film's actor or director and how they shaped us. Subscribe right now or follow our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts via the link in the description below. Hope you join us for the journey.